Welcome everyone, I'm AngloV the Polish guy, and today I will show you my first day in a C3 wormhole. After my success in flying solo in a C2 and the great response the video about that had, I decided to venture into a C3 this time. I planned doing this with a pause at one point, but I got an invitation into a shattered wormhole instead, where those can't be built. So this plan will have to wait for later. This time I have to use a battleship, in this case a Rattlesnake. My experience from the C2 made fitting it easier, and the only thing that I had to change was putting in a target painter after the first sight. In the high slots I have 4 meta cruise launchers. I'm not that experienced in missiles, so it's also a first time seriously using them for me. This time I also decided to take an expanded probe launcher and combat probes to have more of a chance in PvP situations. I would swap out the scanner for a drone link augmenter if I went on to do a sight. I also keep a T2 cloak fitted. In the mid slots I have 2 shield resistance amplifiers, EM and thermal. After that, 2 large shield extenders. The next 3 modules would sometimes get changed, but usually I keep the ECM like last time, a target painter to make hitting targets easier and an adaptive field. Those 3 would get swapped for more passive tanking if I got neuted out. The low slots are filled with shield power relays and 2 drone damage amplifiers. If the wave DPS was too big, I could swap out the amplifiers for more shield regeneration. The rigs are again expensive. 2 are T2 core defense field purgers, while the third is a T1, mostly for cost saving. As for the stats, I can tank roughly 630 DPS in my damage configuration, while putting out 700 DPS. Fitted for max tank, I can tank 1500 DPS while doing 500 DPS damage. My drone setup is quite varied this time. Most of the time I'm using heavy Praetor drones or Warden sentries. I also have a set of Vespa medium drones and light warriors. So far the drone aggro in a C3 isn't much of a problem. I've only lost 1 drone, and only because of not being able to use ECM at the time. As for the modules for refitting, I brought everything that I had last time plus some cap modules. The only thing I forgot are shield rechargers for the max tank fit. So, let's go over how the first day went for me. After getting informed about the connection to the wormhole, I planted both my main and alt in it. This wormhole doesn't get too much traffic, so the area was relatively calm. I started scanning out every signature. It was also my first time using Sigi to keep track of everything. I'm still exploring its usage, but so far it's been an useful tool. So, after getting everything scanned, I refitted for my PvE fit and went on to an unsecured Frontier receiver datasite. Soon after starting the site, I noticed 2 things. First, my damage application wasn't the best, and second, the sleepers use logistics in C3s. As much as my raw damage output was enough to finish the site, the logistics were sometimes a challenge. I decided to first take out as many logi ships as I could without triggering the next wave. The ECM sometimes helped with jamming the logi rats too. The rest of the site went by much easier, but still not as quickly as I would want it to. As for the tank, I only had to activate my field at the last wave. While my drones were dealing with the last frigates, I started salvaging. The only issue I had here is that I couldn't salvage the large wrecks because of lack of the skill. I'm still working on it at the moment. I swapped my drones for salvage, but they weren't as effective as before, so I didn't use them much after this site. After finishing salvage and hacking the site, the total in loot came to about 104 million. After my alt got some modules and ammo from lowsec, I used him as a loot cache from now on. After getting my target painter, I decided to do a fortification frontier stronghold anomaly. This time things went much better with a target painter, providing considerably more damage application. I was concerned about the newts though. At one point my cap was close to 0, which might be a problem since I rely on ECM to take aggro onto myself. This will cause a lot of issues later. The site took around 25 minutes including salvaging time. The loot was around 62 million. After that I did the second site of the same type, so I won't bother you with the footage since it went by identically. My last site of the day was a C4 Frontier Barracks Anomaly site. The logi and newt capability of the rats here proved to be a major problem. The first wave went by fine, but for the second I had to refit for more tank. At this point my cap also ran out, so I had to refit to fully passive tanking. The lack of ECM wasn't that much of an issue since the rat weren't yet interested in my drones. If I didn't forget my mid-slot shield rechargers, I would be much more comfortable here. I couldn't really fit for full tank, so I had to make do with what I had. At least it was enough. The last wave got really tense. The newts didn't allow me to fit for damage application or getting aggro onto myself, and the total wave damage was too big to comfortably fit for full drone damage. On top of that, the rat logi was enough that I couldn't break their tank for a long time. After a while, I started swapping targets rapidly, which slowed down their logi response. I also fitted some drone damage amplifiers, since I could take a bit more damage. When the first rat of the wave died, it was only easier from now on. I still was a sitting target because of being scrammed and neuted out, but at least I had the chance to finish the site. A few minutes of painfully slow damage application later, a Loki warped into the site. At this point I thought I was dead since I was taking all of the site DPS and the Loki would easily just kill me. I refit for the best tank I could, and while he was hitting me, he couldn't do enough damage to do anything to me. The rats also started switching targets for him, and when I added my own damage, he got scared off. It was a shame that I didn't have enough cap to use scram on him, because I really wanted to fight him. Still, it gave me more confidence in the abilities of this ship. I finished and salvaged the site. After that, I dropped off my loot and decided to try and find anyone who still might have been in the wormhole with combat probes. I didn't find anyone though, and at this point I had enough excitement for the day. I safely logged off. The total loot of the day was around 300 million in something like 4 hours of gameplay. So, that's it for today. If you want to see the next part of this C3 adventure, then subscribe to get notified of when it comes out. As always, I will appreciate any feedback on the video, so comment with what you think I should do better next time. For now, that's it from me, see you next time.